Welcome to another exciting episode of Monday Football. My name is Wahiga Mwaura. We've got lots and lots lined up for you. And you've seen a bit of that. First of all, on the pitch, we have the Nairobi Amputee Football Club. And they'll be telling us a bit about themselves, where they come from, and of course how they play football as well. They've got quite some great and inspirational stories as well. So we have a very, very good show with them. But I'm not alone in studio. Bernard Ndong also joins us. Ndong, what's happening at your corner?
Indeed, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
You've taken in sports, in football, you see you've gone for a break, so it's good to have you back.
That's
welcome.
Right. I'm back for the second half.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to be
here.
Well,
this afternoon we're honored to have, of course, our very own Iqbal on the video segment. Of course, this afternoon is a bit different, Wahiga Mwaura. We also have a guest, Sarah Chwada. She's a sports and entertainment lawyer, and she's being taught by our very own Iqbal how to play the video segment. I want to find out, Iqbal, what lessons are you telling Madam Sarah Chwada?
My name is Walcott, and okay, basically I can't teach her much today. I'm just trying to show her the basics of getting the game, and we'll see how she does in a while.
So far, do you feel she's a good student?
Yeah, she's trying.
Sarah, first time, of course, I don't know if this is the first time playing the video game. Is it as difficult as it looks, or is it as easy as it feels?
I think just trying to get used to the controls, and then figuring out what's pass and what's through cross.
Yes.
Yeah. And scoring and shooting. That it's gonna take some time. But give me a week. 24/7, and I can beat him.
Okay. Thank you so much, of course. And we also have our very own DJ Crossfade, of course, just providing us the soundtrack. Wahiga, and you know, at a certain time of this show, when he plays a certain tune, you do know it's time for people to make some money. And Wahiga Mwaura, this afternoon we have a very, very big surprise. I'm sure as you saw the opening of the show, there's something different as far as the show kicked off. You noticed there's something.
I hope people are watching keenly, and there's a surprise with that as well.
Definitely.
And I hope we're giving away something very soon. Because people need to watch till the very end of this show.
Yes. Because
there's some amazing surprises coming up, and not just this show, but in the next few shows as well.
Absolutely.
Who knows what we might do for you right here on Monday Football, so you need to keep it here. Ndong, I want to talk about something in regards to our question of the day. First things, we might actually have two questions today. Let me talk about the first one first. Behind me are the jerseys of Bayern Munich and Arsenal. They are going head to head in the Champions League starting tomorrow. So we're asking you, what are your predictions? Not just for this match, but for all the matches that will be taking place both on Tuesday and Wednesday. What are your predictions? Use the hashtag MondayFootball. And let us know what you think. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Arsenal, they've been doing well. You saw what they did to Watford. You saw what they did to Manchester United. But Bayern are Bayern Munich. They don't need an introduction. You say their name and opponents fall in fear. How that match is going to turn out and the other results of the Champions League, let us know your thoughts. But there's lots of action this weekend, and Bernard Ndong kicks us off with the highlights.
Absolutely, beginning of the local front where Gor Mahia FC, of course, were taking part in the KPL Top 8 semi-final, and they were facing off with Tusker FC. That match, of course, ended 2-all. Here are the highlights.
Olunga touches it again, goes straight into the feet of Arias, and Abondo! He's caught it in the net! And Arias scoring former! And Jacob.
Well, look at that shot from Ali Abondo. It touched.
And it's in the net! It's a second goal for Gor Mahia.
They leave a lot of space behind their back here.
All the spaces have not been exploited as yet. Jesse Were gets a chance and puts it in the net with a curving shot manages to get a loose ball on the right side, on his right side, and curves it behind the defenders. Goalkeeper doesn't put it to Mane with the free kick, but rolls out on the other side, and Tusker put it in the net. It's Eugenia City who levels the score here in the very last minute of the game, the 90th minute. Just before playing the added timer, Eugenia Sike pushes the ball into the net after some hard work from Kevin Kimani.
Well, it was a similar scoreline as Sofapaka and Sony Sugar drew 2-2, all at the same venue. Here are the highlights of that other top 8 match that took place this weekend.
What's that main back? Here's the header! And this one is by Anthony Akaliani.
To push it for a corner.
This one is in the net. And this one again, Tony Botman organizing to take it. I think Fwadi Ndaisenga has volunteered. Shivachi is the one who goes for it and puts it in the net.
Well, of course, 2-2 is how it ended in both those two semi-finals. That was the first leg, so definitely it's going to be interesting as far as the second leg is concerned, given the scoreline in the first leg. Now, you take a look at the Kenyan Premier League. You do know that it's taken a break because of the international matches that were taking place in the course of last week, and KCB's relegation wars continued as they slumped to a 1-0 loss to City Stars in a match that was played at the Safaricom Kasarani Stadium. The Bankers are now flirting with relegation.
Athman Buki, once in a while he does find the net, but it's more once. But it's on the other hand, it's a Jimmy Bagheera. Jimmy Bagheera racing into the box for City Stars. And a shot! Oh, it's a goal! Jimmy Bagheera scores a wonderful goal of 4 City Stars, catching KCB napping at the back. KCB deflated. Okinda can't believe it. But Jimmy Bagheera did the hard work himself and his teammates over because he was on a run. Twisting and turning, Luke Ochieng, Athman Buki, Sammy Okinda, all 3 beaten by the Ugandans.
Yeah, and they're backing off him. How about someone put a foot in there, someone get a tackle in there between Buki and Luke Ochieng? They should.
Well, it's time to delve into the politics that is Kenyan football, and immediately after this story, sports and entertainment lawyer Sarah Ochwada will be joining Dong and I at the Magic Wall to discuss the issues happening around Kenyan football. But something interesting also happened last night exclusively on Citizen TV, and Cabinet Secretary Dr. Hassan Wario sent out another stern warning to the Football Kenya Federation officials for their sluggishness to register the federation in accordance with the Sports Act. Wario was speaking in an exclusive interview on Citizen TV Sunday Live just a few days after FKF snubbed a stakeholders meeting.
And one of the parting shots from the stakeholders was right to FIFA outlining these concerns. And this, you know, people across the spectrum of football in this country. But if you don't follow the Sports Act, you'll be illegal. Not only football, whoever is not going to follow it. And we've said that many times. This is the law of the country. If you don't abide by the law of the country, you can go somewhere else and practice your football or your whatever.
Right, it's time to talk about the issues affecting Kenya football. Now, shortly we'll be posting a letter here from Football Kenya Federation. But, Pona Director, one more time, let us play that clip. I just want us to understand the gravity of what the Cabinet Secretary was saying, and then from there we can proceed. But of course, we expect Sarah just to help us delve into the details of the sports lawyer. She understands the complexities around the process of getting to the elections. What is FIFA's role in all this? How much power does FIFA have? Let's listen to that just one more time.
And one of the parting shots from the stakeholders was right to FIFA outlining these concerns. And this, you know, people across the spectrum of football in this country. But if you don't follow the Sports Act, you'll be illegal. Not only football, whoever is not going to follow it. And we've said that many times. This is the law of the country. If you don't abide by the law of the country, you can go somewhere else and practice your football or your whatever.
Good. Sarah, you heard that clip. So basically, Sports Cabinet Secretary convened together with football stakeholders minus FKF, even though FKF have been invited to talk about the issues. And FKF then sent out a letter which will be putting on the screen shortly, saying that meeting was not sanctioned, you're going the wrong way. Are we back to where we started?
Well, the big issue is FIFA actually is a big proponent of sporting autonomy, which means that government should not interfere in any matters regarding decisions to do with their associations. So what we heard from our Cabinet Secretary, unfortunately, might be considered to be government interference, especially if you're calling in meetings with stakeholders and not involving the FKF itself. We could be in trouble.
We could be in trouble. I'm told we have the letter. Let's put that on the screen and just have a look at what some of the pertinent issues were. So this is the letter that FKF sent out, and of course the title is Dr. Hassan Wario is offside and deserves to be cautioned. And let me read one or two lines. The purported stakeholders meeting, which was convened, was totally misplaced. That's one thing that the letter says. Despite being dubbed stakeholders meeting, the purpose of the meeting was not achieved because FKF leadership should have been involved from the start. And of course, the so-called stakeholders meeting was totally out of tune with FIFA statutes, CAF statutes, and FKF statutes, in view of the fact that FKF is the custodian of football in Kenya. There's so much more in the letter, but of course, that is the spirit of the letter, a complaint, a warning that this is not the way to handle this process.
Yes.
And I can allow you to react to that.
Well, they're very right. FKF has every right to send such a letter, especially when it's time for the elections which are coming up. The FIFA regulations on electoral standards, Article 2, actually states that government interference should not be allowed in whatever form or case as may be. So this is one very interesting case whereby if we have any further interference from government, whether it's through trying to formulate rules which will bind FKF or trying to involve even its own electoral bodies such as the IEBC to check out whether the rules are okay, we could be in trouble.
Wow.
Yes.
Go ahead now.
Sarah, just to interject briefly, the Cabinet Secretary's explanation was the fact that that particular meeting was just a consultative meeting, and the stakeholders he was talking about were actually the delegates, some of the delegates who had also been invited. And for them, they said it was just a consultative meeting. There was nothing really that would have, of course, made FKF to be that worried, to be that concerned.
I think the issue is that when you do not have the bona fide members of the FKF present, even though they are delegates, would they be considered to be the bona fide members? The FKF constitution is very clear about who its members are.
Yes.
These are the members of the FKF Premier League, the members of the branches, the members of FKF Recognized Association for Referees, FKF Recognized Association of Players, FKF Recognized Associations of
Does that not give FKF, and by FKF I mean the body, I'm not talking about the individuals, FKF, whether FKF in 2015 or in 2025, too much power? Because you're both, is it judge and juror in a sense, and that has been one of the biggest complaints.
Now here's the issue. Remember when I mentioned autonomy of sport?
Yes.
Yes. Well, autonomy of sport allows for sports bodies to run their own affairs without interference of external
I think it's also important just to understand what interference means, because some of these terms are
not
they're very ambiguous.
So there are two things you have to keep in mind. There's government interference and government intervention.
Yes.
Of course, as much as you're an autonomous body...
That's a lawyer to confuse us even more. Government interference and government intervention. Okay.
As much as you're an autonomous body, you can't operate within a vacuum. There's already laws within the national...
That govern.
Yes, that govern the state, such as the Constitution, etc. That even FKF must abide by. The only issue comes in where certain laws are contrary or contradict with the FIFA statute.
Okay.
FIFA statutes then take precedence above?
Yes. FIFA statutes take precedence whenever it's a football-related.
But what about the laws of the land? Because if you look at it, this is a sports act, this is a law. And of course, the FKF is supposed to have registered those sites, because now, given the fact that they have the election the 14th of November, what happens next? What does that mean? That's somewhat of a limbo.
Yes.
Okay. What happens?
Well, first of all, there's a bit of a confusion about what happens with the new Sports Act. The Sports Act is actually supposed to divest the interests of the sports ministry from running the affairs of sports.
Okay.
So the role of the sports registrar is to come and to see whether FKF has its constitution in line with FIFA as well as the Constitution of Kenya.
Okay.
If that's well and good, then FKF has a clean bill of health to do what they have to do.
Because I'm trying to understand that because the FKF were given the papers, they said they have the forms, they're given the forms at the beginning of the year, and it's almost 2 years to the end of the 2 months to the end of the year. What would have prompted the delay? I mean, of course, you don't speak from KFA's point of view, but you feel that for them they are a bit concerned with that issue, talked about ensuring that it is unified across board?
I think the issue now would be just to talk to the sports registrar, because she's the one who's handling the registration. I cannot speak and say why there are certain delays when it comes to registering sports organizations, because FKF is not the only organization which has not been registered so far, and yet the Sports Act has already given us a deadline which passed a long time ago.
For most federations.
Exactly. So that would be an issue to pick up with the sports registrar, and maybe she can tell us what's happening from that.
I have one last question before Ndong continues to give us the highlights. One of the biggest headlines this past week was about Harambee Stars, and the headline was government to take over Harambee Stars as a directive, and yet that letter that we showed you on the screen shows FKF complaining that, listen, the government can work with Harambee Stars, no problem, but together with the custodian FKF, who is the bona fide owner or sponsor of Harambee Stars? How is that supposed to work?
So Harambee Stars is the national team which was selected by the processors of FKF. So FKF is in charge of everything that goes on with Harambee Stars. Now, the ministry and the Kenyan government will come in as stakeholders who will assist. Now, government intervention, that's where it comes in, help to finance and help to put in place the camps, etc. But they cannot take over the ownership of Harambee Stars.
You have effectively told us that everything that has happened last week contravenes the FIFA laws and statutes. Well, you heard it from a lawyer, not from us, on Monday Football. Dom, back to you.
Away from those intrigues, of course, of the FKF and the Ministry of Sports, take a look at the highlights of the weekend, where Thika United claimed a 2-0 victory over Ulinzi Stars as Vincent Omumbo and Kennedy Otieno rattled the military side with 2 scintillating goals. Here they are. Of course, those are the highlights of the Thika United versus Ulinzi Stars. Now, Wahiga, it's interesting the fact that the league was already decided about several weeks ago. I think the battle now is which teams do not want to be relegated and teams that we definitely, of course, want to finish in second, because that result right there, Ulinzi Stars being beaten by Thika United.
Ulinzi already knew that they're second. You're not going to take that away from them. I think they have an 11-point gap with Sofapaka.
Absolutely.
I think for me right now the focus is GoTV Shield Cup. Top 8. So make sure if you, since you know you're not go run away with the trophy a long time ago in the Cape in the Sportpesa Premier League. Let us now focus on these other games as well. So expect to see some very interesting looking matches in the Sportpesa Premier League, where you have one team that really needs to win to get somewhere. Another one that isn't too concerned because they already know their fate. But I expect a lot more competition now on this other side. GoTV Shield coming up from the 21st of October. And we expect to see some action there as well. But you're telling me that it's time now for a break.
That time it is.
45th minute break that Ndong always refers to. We'll be back
with more. Indeed, welcome back to Monday Football, and I'm sure you're wondering why this particular section of the studio has these nice footballs right here, and you can see they're forming the number 20.
It actually looks very good on screen.
Looks very colorful, yes. 20, the number 20, of course, the 20 English Premier League teams. And why we have this poll this afternoon is because of the following question, our trivia. Remember earlier on, Wahiga Mora asked you a question, well, I'm asking you another one.
How well do you know your football? Answer this simple question and you could win a Barclays gift hamper. Send your answer to our Twitter handle at Monday Football KE or Facebook page Monday Football. Winners will be announced during the Monday Football Show on Citizen TV.
Well, that was Mr. Arsenal himself, Tony Adams. The question we were asking you, how many goals did he score in his career? Well, you answered the question correctly, and like our page, Monday Football, remember on Facebook, Monday Football, or use the hashtag Monday Football, and one of these balls could be yours. What it means is that the entire week, there are 20, so today we'll be selecting one person. Of course, we'll be telling you next week on Monday Football, and there will be remaining 19 balls, so 4 balls this week, another 5 balls next week, so for the next 4 weeks, all these balls have to go Wahiga.
Dong, can I also win one? No.
the rules, the terms and conditions.
My director also said no. I think it's important to tell, if I can just be impolite and just pick one.
And please return it, Wahiga.
It's the real deal right here. Let me put my iPad down for now. This is we haven't even put in it yet. Original Barclays Premier League ball. 2015-2016 Nike version, I believe. This is what you can walk away with, and of course we'll be doing this for the next few Mondays, so tell your friends and family members and everyone that they need to be in on this. It's beautiful. This is what it feels like to hold a proper match ball. Manandong. Doesn't get better than this.
I do hope that you decide to wake up more. I can see that you're looking at it just favoring that.
No, I'm in front of the camera. I'm going to put it right back here. Sijaguza, don't count them again.
They're 20. I hope at the end of the show there will still be 20. Of course, we'll be giving one to a lucky viewer who, of course, who likes our Facebook page and on Twitter, Monday Football. Answer the question that we've posted just a few. And earlier on, we had seen some gentlemen here playing football. They have a unique style of playing the game, and just trying to understand exactly what they do. This is the team of Amputee Football, the Nairobi football team, Amputee Football team. And we have the captain here. He'll just be introducing himself and telling us more about this game. Captain, Amputee Football, just tell us the background of the sport in Kenya.
Amputee Football, the moment is 5 years old.
Yes.
Started by a gentleman called Mehmet Turkesh, who's a Turkish national. And, you know, he was posted here for work purpose. And since he was coaching the Turkish national team back in Turkey, he thought there was need for him to start an amputee football in Kenya. And so he got us together, you know, me and a few friends who, you know, he knew before. And yes, that's how it started. And 5 years down the line, we've made strides into the game, and struggling here and there, but still we're pushing on.
Okay, Captain, you said that you made strides in the game. How many number of players do you have since it started 5 years ago? Is it grown? Is it just slightly sluggish?
We've made really big improvement, because we started about 5 players.
Yes.
We've been adding numbers each year. We are about 15 players at the moment who play for the Nairobi club.
Yes.
But amputee football has grown beyond Nairobi.
Okay.
Because we have about 7 clubs countrywide.
Okay.
Yes.
Just, I think, Wahiga, it's important for people to understand exactly what amputee football is all about. Just tell us, because I know there are actually a particular definition of amputees, not as it is. So tell us, somebody who is eligible to be an amputee footballer, what does that mean? What
criteria do they have to fill?
Well, amputee football is a very special game, which consists of 7 players aside.
Yes.
And to qualify to be an amputee player, as the name suggests, you have to be amputated.
Yes.
Meaning one limb, especially like if you are an infield player, you should be missing a leg.
Okay.
Or if you have a leg, then it's maybe polio affected, it's weak, it cannot hit a ball. That's how you qualify to be a player. And goalkeepers, the qualification is you have to have one arm missing, or maybe abbreviated.
Okay.
In terms of maybe polio affected, so it cannot really play in the match.
Okay.
So that's how you qualify to be a player.
Okay.
And so many rules are into the game, not so much different from the normal football.
Yes.
But a few changes here and there. Like we play in a very small pitch, 50 by 70 meters. Our goalposts are smaller, 5 meters long.
Like for this goalpost, it will be reaching where?
Really
slightly higher?
Like 5 meters long,
yes,
and 2.5 meters tall.
Okay.
So that's the pitch. And as a player, you're not supposed to handle the ball with your crutches, because we use crutches to play.
Yes.
The elbow crutches.
Okay.
So as a player, if the ball touches the crutches, it's a handball.
Okay.
It could be deliberate, it could be accidental, but
yes,
mostly the referee spots it and he calls for a handball.
Okay.
And it's a 50 minutes game, 25 each half.
Okay.
Quite short, but you know, when you get into the game,
it's quite intense.
50 minutes becomes like an hour, you know.
Yes.
It's really tough.
You mentioned that you've been around for the last 5 years. Talk to me about what have been some of the highlights, some of the proudest moments of this team.
We have quite a number. We managed to host the Cup of Nations in 2013.
Yes.
At the City Stadium,
yes,
which about 6 countries came. We did not perform very well into the competition, but since it was our first really competition, we managed to score some goals and win a match or 2. But going on, we managed last year to also qualify for the World Cup, which was held in Mexico, and we participated as well. Yeah, it was even tougher since it was our first World Cup. We played about 6 matches. We managed to win a match against Colombia 4-0.
Yeah.
Colombia is a very strong side. Managed to score about 15 goals. And for a first team, being the first team in Africa, to play in the World Cup.
Yes.
It was really, really a big thing for us.
Okay.
And since it was like being baptized by fire, you just got into the game 5 years, and then you went to the World Cup. It was really difficult, but scoring 15 goals in the World Cup is incredible.
Okay.
So for us, it's really, really good. And also, we are very proud that we have 2 professional players who play in Turkey.
Yes.
Myself and another player called Safari.
Okay.
So we're just into our final week, getting our visas processed, and then we go back to Turkey for 2015-2016 league.
You talked about challenges, and you said that Kenya, of course, participated at the World Cup for the first time last year, represented the continent. What gave your opponents the extra edge? Because you say that you only won 1 game against Colombia, you scored 15 goals, but definitely struggled in the other 5 matches. What do you feel gave the other opponents the extra edge that Kenya can work on to actually be a top contender?
I will tell you for free that Kenya was really a contender. The only thing that really affected our performance in the World Cup is the lack of opportunities that we have here.
Yes.
Our opponents were training for the World Cup for over 3 months in a residential camp. Our team could not access funds, and so we just assembled 2 weeks into the World Cup. And so you can see the consistency, the match fitness, and everything else really dragged us behind.
Yes.
If you look at Russia, who are the world champions after winning the last cup, these guys have a professional league. Like, they play every week. They train every day and they play every weekend. For us here, we're still struggling to find sponsors to get us into a league that can make these players here train every day and play every weekend, so that at least whenever a competition comes, these guys are ready. But for us, we are struggling to find all that, because we're struggling to find stadiums. We have to write letters to the county and go through a lot of offices to get opportunities. We're lacking equipment. If you see, our crutches are not uniform. We because the game needs you to have the quality materials that you need to use. So all those resources and facilities that we are lacking are some of really the challenges that made us not perform well in the World Cup.
Okay. We'll be coming back to this team, of course, talking a bit more with them, getting to know more about them as well, and of course we'll also be having some action on the field. But we're taking a look at what's been happening internationally. I want to flip the script a little bit, Bwana Director. There's a very, very funny goal that happened this weekend. I'm not going to talk much about it. All I'm going to say is that there were lots of goals taking place this weekend across Europe, everywhere else, but this one stood out. The blogs have it, everyone else, and I you know what, I'm not going to say anymore. Just have a look.
Ahí Coque dejando el balón para Iborra. Va a llegar el centro y el gol del empate del Sevilla. Casi sin querer, ahí poniendo el cuerpo. Gameiro en el 71 lograba empatar el partido. Es el 7º gol que encaja el Eibar en lo que llevamos de temporada. Y fue así, con el centro que encaja el Eibar en lo que llevamos de temporada. Y fue así, con el centro que encaja el Eibar en lo que llevamos de temporada. Ahí Coque dejando el balón para Iborra. Va a llegar el centro y el gol del empate del Sevilla. Casi sin querer, ahí poniendo el cuerpo. Gameiro en el 71 lograba empatar el partido. Es el 7º gol que encaja el Eibar en lo que llevamos de temporada. Y fue así, con el centro que encaja el Eibar en lo que llevamos de temporada. Y fue así, con el centro que encaja el Eibar.
Yes, I can tell you for a fact that our director was also mesmerized as a guest as well, because it's obvious. I think we just run that clip as we talk over that clip. If our director can run that clip once again. He did not use his hands, nor his feet. I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Of course, I think he exemplifies what you say in football: score at any cost. It doesn't matter. And I can see some of the members of the Nairobi Amputee Football Club agreeing with me. For them, it doesn't matter how you score. At the end of the day, he got a point for his team. They walked away with a draw where it could have been a loss. those are the rules of sports. You score, and of course, that's how life is as well. You know, whatever it takes to get to whatever you want to achieve in life, go right ahead and do it. So that was a commercial break here, and of course, time now to continue with other matches, and of course, lots and lots of goals scored in other matches as well. Manchester United, they edged Everton 3-0 to end their poor record at Goodison Park as they completely outclassed the Toffees. Here are the highlights of that match.
Fired in by Mata. Off there to Naismith, who will have to go after this again under pressure from Rooney. And the ball is swept home by Morgan Schneidlin. Everton thought there was a foul in there. He play on after Coleman took out Martial, who's still round. That's a great header from Ander Herrera. A wonderful cross, and Herrera was there to meet it. Turning the defence into attack, and this is Wayne Rooney. He answers his critics again, and at the place he used to call home.
Well, Arsenal were also in winning form against Watford, but they left it till late to bag all 3 points. The Gunners clinched a 3-0 victory, with all the goals being scored in a span of 12 minutes.
Sanchez running at the Watford defence with pace. He's got options. Ozil, Cazorla, Ozil, Ake, Sanchez off the post, and Arsenal on the counter-attack have the lead. Coquelin. Ramsey. In my break for Ozil. Giroud, 2-0. Off the bench and on the score sheet within 5 minutes. More strong running around the edge of the penalty area. Sets up Ramsey for 3-0. His first Arsenal goal since April.
Of course, Real Madrid managed to edge their opponents over the weekend in their Spanish La Liga match, and the man who stood out was Cristiano Ronaldo, as he scored the Los Blancos' 324th goal in 310 games, as Real proved too strong for Levante.
Situation. One of the four is Ronaldo. Back to Marcelo! Very good in the league for some years now. Ball given away. Here's Cruz. First down, and there's always going to be Cristiano Ronaldo! No doubting now. He is the... To Ronaldo. Now to Hesse. Brilliant goals from Hesse. Tremendous finish as well.
Back to the English Premier League, and Newcastle secured their first season win with a clinical 6-2 victory over Norwich City. And Jorginho, I don't know how you pronounce his name, I hope I've done it correctly. It's Jorginho Wijnaldum scored 4 goals as Norwich capitulated.
And holding it up, Olsen making an uncharted run forward, and then McCartney's there to equalise. Him at the moment though. Sissoko. Teased in, it's a good header. Van Allen scores again. Perez. Jose Perez. Initial effort blocked. Second one wasn't. Howson. Olsen, and again all the time in the world to get the delivery right. Redmond is 3-2. Sissoko, Mitrovic, it's a good take, it's a great goal. They come again, it's a good advantage play by the referee. Sissoko, Van Alden, Janmaat joins the attack. Through the middle, Van Alden used him as the decoy and scores the 4th. Well, if that didn't take a deflection, it's an unbelievable.
Well, it definitely was a busy football weekend, and Brazilian Neymar made up for Lionel Messi's absence, scoring 4 goals as Barcelona, as the Catalans dismantled Rayo Vallecano 5-2 at the Nou Camp. Neymar is now the leading scorer with 8 goals.
Question, it's a definite penalty again. Some breathing space. Militao, Suarez, and Neymar has his 4th. Neymar. Excellent ball. For the last 5 minutes, Razvan Rat. Fine cross from him. Good defending from Jordi Alba. But turned in.
Well, of course, remember this afternoon we have told you that you can win something by just simply telling us. Of course, we asked you a question earlier on regarding our useful question. This is the question we're asking to win something. How many goals did Arsenal legend Tony Adams, is known as Mr. Arsenal, score in his career as a Ghana? How many goals did Arsenal legend Tony Adams score in his career as a Ghana? 20 balls. We have 20 balls, official balls. Wahiga Mora.
52 or 39.
You're trying to
guess. I'm trying to guess.
You're just misinforming people.
Tell me hot. You know that game? Hot. I'm a cold. Is it 20? Like the number of teams in the Premier League, or the number of balls that we have here in studio today?
I know one person who will win the ball, and it's not you, Aiga, because you're very lukewarm. One ball, of course, will be up for grabs this afternoon, and definitely what the person needs to do is simply like our Facebook page, Monday Football. The Monday Football Facebook page has the image of the three of us, myself, Wahiga, and Michael King, because I'm sure there might be a lot of, as they say in parody accounts or Bonoko accounts. Ours is the actual one, Monday Football, the three of us. That's the Facebook page that you need to like, and we will be able to give you, of course, one of these balls. And remember, you have to also respond to the question that we asked you. How many goals did Mr. Arsenal score while he was at the Gunners? That is Mr. Tony Adams. And remember, this afternoon we also have the amputee football team, the Nairobi amputee football team. And just to understand their life stories, mpira umekusaidiaje? Jitambulishe.
Majina yangu ni Kombo Zakias. Mimi nacheza mpira wa amputee kama goalkeeper.
Yes.
Nilijiunga na klabu hii mwaka 2010 na imenisaidia pakubwa, sababu nikijiunga nilikuwa nimeumia, nimekatwa mkono. Nilipata accident kazini. So nilikuwa kwa nyumba, nilikuwa najificha, maana wale walikuwa wananijua. Nilikuwa naogopa kuonekana kwamba sasa mimi ni mlemavu. Lakini nilipigiwa simu na rafiki yangu, akaniita ataona, akaniambia kuna mpira umeanza mahali, mpira wa walemavu, naweza kujiunga nayo. Sasa wakati aliniingiza pale, nimenufaika kwa sababu nilijikuta si mimi peke yangu mlemavu, na imenifanya nimejivunia ulemavu wangu, kwa sababu ya mpira huu umefanya nimepanda ndege, nimeenda mahali. Ni furaha yangu kubwa. Kwa sababu ya mpira huu umefanya nimepata marafiki ambao ni waajabu, ambao wamefanya hata maisha yangu imebadilika pakubwa.
Imebadilika kijinsi gani? Umesema Zakias,
maisha yangu imebadilika kwa sababu wakati niliumia, nilifutwa kazi, nikawa sasa sina kazi na sina vile naweza kujisaidia. Lakini kwa sababu ya kujiunga na wenzangu, wao ndio walinitoa kwa nyumba wakaniweka mahali ambapo napata mkate wangu wa kisiku sasa hivi.
Sasa kama wewe goalkeeper, najua kuna zile ambazo zinaizwa the rules za mchezo huu wa amputee football. Unaonekana kwamba unafaa kutumia mkono mmoja, kuna vile unaifanya. Unaweza kutuambia kama goalkeeper, kwa sababu ulikuwa unapenda mpira kitambo kabla upate ajali, si ndio?
Sasa kwa sababu siwezi shika mpira na mkono yote, na wala mkono wangu hufai kuguza mpira lazima nitumie akili zangu. Nikipigiwa bullet kubwa sana, inabidi niweke ngume ndio irudishe hiyo mpira, na kama ni ya kudive nichunge sana nisidive niangukie mkono, inabidi nitumie akili mingi sana ndio nisiweze kuumia mkono tena. Mara nyingi najikutanga nimeangukia, sasa ikienda kwa nyumba kukuta imeniumiza, lakini lazima nitumie akili, kwa sababu nisipotumia akili mwenyewe nitajiumiza tena. So unakuta nikipigiwa bullet nichungane na lazima nikave pande ya mkono huu, niache. Inabidi mimi mara nyingi kuacha pande ya hii mkono nafasi kubwa nikiwa ndani ya goal. Ndio wakati anapiga asipige pande apigie pande hii. Akipigia pande hii napata urahisi wa kudivia hiyo mpira. Ikiwezekana niondoe, niuzuie, ikinizidi ihesabiwe goal.
Wow. What an inspiring story. I know some of the members are a bit shy, but Captain, kuna mwingine pia alikuwa hata kuongea. Maybe unaweza mpea mic tafadhali. Anza na kujitambulisha tafadhali.
Jina langu ni Peter Munyaonzioka. Nilijiunga na hii mpira ya amputee football 1910 na
Mwaka gani? 19 tena sisi sote tuko hapa.
2010. Hapo zamani za kale.
Zamani hiyo ni zamani kabisa.
2010.
Haina shida, endelea.
Na nimeendelea na huu mchezo umenifanya nikawa flexible kwa sababu naweza cheza nyuma, katikati na forward. So I'm flexible. Na wakati ule host hapa City Stadium ilinipatia confidence mpaka wakati ule tulienda Mexico nikaenda kucheza nikiwa na confidence.
So sport imekupea confidence. I know you spoke about the challenges, but I'm thinking about some of the challenges that other teams might not face that your team might face, and I just want to talk a bit about that. I remember I once had a conversation with the Paralympic team, and they shared with me even the challenge of getting to the stadium. Unajua wachezaji maybe of Harambee Stars, they might have their own complaints, but that's something that they don't normally talk about. Maybe we can just talk just one word about that.
The challenges. The biggest challenge, since we're still growing, and most of these players here, as much as sometimes we get financial benefit from this sport, they have their businesses that they're doing apart from football. So we meet twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays for training. But so meaning if they come for training, they've left their businesses.
Yes.
And that's where they get their daily bread. So because we don't get paid for training.
Yes.
We only get paid when we maybe play for international matches.
Yes.
So the challenge is these guys need to really find something that can bring their daily living. You know, they can be sure that every day they're not sleep hungry. And if they leave their job to come to training, then they've left a vacuum.
Yes.
And most of them have families here.
So we've talked about jobs, and of course Wahiga Mwaura, this gentleman, of course most people know him, Bwana Ibrahim Wafula. He's been cycling. You've known him sitting on the bicycle, doing some amazing things on two wheels. You're now playing football, Bwana Ibrahim. Tuambie vile mpira umekusaidia, unakuanga na biashara zako, captain anasema lazima muache biashara yako. Inakuanga aje kujuggle hizo mbili?
Inakuwa ni ngumu sana kwa sababu nikikosa kuingia training nitatolewa kwa timu. Alafu vile tuko na siku 2 kwa wiki, na balance cycling naenda Saturday, ya taxi driver, na nakuja kila siku na nasaidia wenzangu. Kama transport kufika kwa kiwanja inakuwa ni ngumu. Sasa inabidi niwache kazi yangu ili niende pamoja na wenzangu. Kuhusu elininua sana sababu nilikuwa cycling muda mrefu, karibu 15 years. Lakini sasa hivi vile tunaungana na wenzangu, hata mimi mwenyewe naona tuko na mashujaa hapa kwa amputee.
Unachofanya nafasi gani?
Mimi nacheza defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a request. Kila mtu at least ajitambulishe. Hata kama utasema kitu, at least watu wajue jina. Mtaani wapi, wewe ufanya kazi gani, when you're not playing football. Tunaanza na wewe tafadhali.
Okay, kwa majina mimi naitwa Francis Nganga. Mimi amputee imenisaidia zaidi kwa ajili tangu 2010 nilikuwa mlemavu kwa roho, kwa ajili nilikuwa na Beleni, nilikuwa nacheza mpira. Wakati niliumia nikauliza, sitacheza mpira tena. Hiyo maidi kaniingia zaidi, hata nikaudhika kiroho. But wakati nilisikia kuna wachezaji walemavu na wanacheza State House, sasa nilijikaza kabisa, nikaenda paka State House. Hata sikuulizia paka State House, kaenda nikakuta wakitrain, nikaungana na wao kaanza kutrain. Lakini hii game inanisaidia, na hope na sauliza mtu ako kama mimi. Tuko watu wengi sana. Kama mimi na Sidika. Natoka Thika from 2010 up to date. Nakujaga twice a week.
Kuna kitu ningependa ufanye. Unaona ile kamera pale? Kuna yule ako nyumbani.
Okay.
Na anakusikia. Kwa ufupi unaweza muambia nini
kumkomunicate? Kwa ufupi mwenye naweza elezea kama mimi mtu mlemavu amputee. Jaribu ugane na our players wanaweza kusaidia kutoke pale chini, waache kuomba na kuomba. Waache kuomba pesa. Hii game naweza kusaidia paka utafute pesa yako. Uwe jamaa kama huyo na drive
siku ya kesho unaweza kuwa mtu mkubwa kwa serikali.
So tuendelee hivyo. Thank you so much. Ndong, I think in the interest of time we might not be able to, unless kila mtu ajitambulishe tu, at least tusikie jina.
My name is Anthony Mundia. I come all the way from Dandora.
Yes.
I'm the goalkeeper of the Nairobi club.
Asante. Mwingine pia tusikie, wale wawili.
My name is Eugene Batu. I'm schooling at KU. I play at the midfield, and I'm encouraging my fellow students, my colleagues at KU. There are those who are using the prosthesis and hiding themselves in long trousers. They don't want to maybe to engage in football. Yes. Yesterday was Culture Week. I happened to see sitting volleyball. The blind was playing their football. Yes. But for the amputee football, I did not see them, and they are around maybe like 30% of the people with disabilities in KU. They are the amputee. So come out, we form the team. Together we join the Nairobi Football Club. Okay, my name is Nicholas Keyo. I play striking.
Asante sana. Hapa chini I think moja wawili pia.
My name is Jacob Murithi. Nimetoka pande ya Kirinyaga lakini mahali ninaishi ni Kiambu, ndio nimekuja kutafutia hapo.
Okay, na mwisho.
My name is Brian Oroka, and besides football, I'm a student in Wilson Airport.
Okay. Captain, last question to you. If somebody wants to assist the team, kuna email, maybe they can get more answers or something like that. What?
Somebody wants to join the team because somebody would like
or someone else wants to join the team as well. How can they reach you?
For anyone out there who wants to help these players in terms of sponsorship, it doesn't have to be millions, because we lack a lot of stuff, crutches, balls, bolts, shin guards, and also financially. You can reach us through our email, nairobiamputeefootballclub@yahoo.com.
Yes.
Maybe I can give my number. I don't know if that's okay.
What we'll do is that with that email address, we'll be able at least to be one platform for people to actually communicate with you, be able to articulate the ideas quite well. We'll be posting that email address on our respective Twitter handles for you who are interested in joining the Nairobi Amputee football team, and definitely, of course, they'll follow up with you on the same.
Good, and also those who want to also join the team, Nairobi Amputee Football Club @yahoo.com. My director will be scrolling that shortly as well. Just send them an email, get them, squeeze kila mtu akona email, that's a good thing.
Yes.
Na kila mtu akona social media pia, Twitter and Facebook, so they can also reach you on your Facebook page, which is?
We have a Facebook page, Nairobi Amputee Football Club.
Nairobi Amputee Football Club. Okay.
All right. Well, I think, Ndong, it's that time that we've been looking forward to. Ndong, I hand over to you for
definitely,
that part of the show.
Just exchange positions. I'll come here at the forward position. And definitely, of course, for the gentlemen, I'm sure you've been following the show for the past few episodes, for several episodes. And basically, this is the segment of the show. You heard that particular tune. It means it's time to make some money. And my director will be telling you who will be selecting. Just to give you before he tells me who will be selecting. Simple, you answer several questions. Answer them correctly, and you have some money to win. I have the money right here. That is 2,000 Kenya shillings cash money. 2,000 Kenya shillings cash money. This is up for grabs, but you just need to answer 8 questions correctly. If you're able to answer 8 questions correctly, this cash money is yours. And if my director can tell me who has won, the gentleman on the extreme right there with orange. The gentleman with the orange shirt. So, congratulations. Wewe ndo tutakuja sasa hapa tuanze kukuuliza maswali 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Ukipata correct, you win some money. Sawa sawa. So first, before you respond to the questions, nataka kuambia wengine wenzako you're not allowed to tell him the answer, not leak to him the answer, otherwise itakuwa cancelled. Sawa sawa. Atapatiwa red card. Unajua? Atapatiwa red card. So if my director is ready, the clock is ready. Quick fire begins now. Name one of the players who scored the goals for Gor Mahia against Tusker in the KPL Top 8.
Pass.
What was the result between Sony Sugar and Sofapaka in the KPL Top 8 semi-final?
2-0.
What is the current position of KCB in the KPL?
Pass.
Where was the KPL match between Ulinzi and Thika United played?
Thika. Pass.
Name the former Everton player who scored against the Trophies last weekend while playing for Manchester United.
Lukaku.
Name the former Everton player I beg your pardon, name the hat-trick hero for the Manchester City against Bournemouth.
Right.
How many goals did Chelsea score against Aston Villa?
2-0.
How many goals did Neymar score for Barcelona in their win against Rayo Vallecano?
4.
How many goals did Real Madrid score against Levante?
3.
Time is up. Let's take a look at how you fared. 2 correct, 7 wrong. Oh. Why are you nervous? Microphone, why are you nervous? Ulikuwa nervous? Kwa swali zingine hapa si ngumu. Tumeongea about some of these matches during the course of the show. Zile game ya Sony Sugar na Sofapaka yasilisha 2-2, ndio?
Yeah.
Ni nerves, eh?
Yeah.
Lakini inakuwa kawaida kwa mchezo saa zingine. Game inaanza hivi labda unasikia tumbo joto kidogo. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, but what that means is the fact that it's 2,000 Kenya shillings this week. Next week it increases by another 2,000 Kenya shillings. Waiga, it will be 4,000 Kenya shillings up for grabs next week.
Good, Ndong. I know people are sending me texts with answering the question that we've been asking so they can get a football. Remember, you have to tweet us or SMS us 22422. Don't call, don't text. So Ndong will be just going through that list shortly, and he'll be telling us who gets to walk away with the first ball. We've got 20 here. Amazing stuff. The newest balls, the ones that are being used in the English Premier League. We have them right here in studio. But for now, a bit earlier on, we had an interview with sports and entertainment lawyer Sarah Ochoada. She really opened up what the FIFA statute laws and the way forward, and of course what FKF cannot do, what the government cannot do. Got a lot of feedback on that as well. Denisa saying Kenyan football derailing, government must intervene. We're still talking about what intervention means. We also had someone here, Eric Njiru, government intervention and government interference. Wow, I'm learning a lot. They are as confused as I was a few minutes ago. And let me see one more here. Some of the questions that people were asking. Okay, now people are just asking me about the balls that we're giving out. So I'm going to leave it at that. For now, when we spoke a few minutes ago, you basically gave the impression that FKF has the upper hand. My question to you is, does the government have any cards? Because Kenyans are keenly watching as Anne Kiguta conducted that interview with the Sports Cabinet Secretary. The question that she was asking was, Kenyans want to see a way forward in Kenyan football, regardless of who's where. What's that like?
Well, let me just go back to the FIFA statute. The FIFA statute places an obligation on all its members who are associations such as the FKF to try as much as possible run your affairs independently and without interference from third parties. Unfortunately, the government can be seen as a third party, and that's actually found in the FIFA Statute Article 13, Sub-Article 1.
Whoa, I should quote FIFA Statute.
Okay, and then it even gives you a further obligation under Article 68, saying that you only have to respect the internal mechanisms of solving disputes.
I want to cut you there. Yesterday, Wario's demeanor, a cabinet secretary, was that we are going to intervene. Does he have any loopholes or any powers to intervene, or is that simply, talk for TV? And I know he said he wants to come on Monday Football. I hope we can have him on soon, just because I know he'll need to comment on what you said. But go ahead.
So the FIFA statutes, yet again, under Article 61 straight through to Article 64, talk about the judicial bodies which you can bring a complaint against any member who is not abiding by their obligations.
Of FIFA.
Yes. So you have to use the interventions put in place by FIFA. There are three main bodies. There's the Judicial Committee, the Ethics Committee, and the Appeals Committee. So if you are specifically aggrieved about how a member association is running its affairs, you can write to the Executive Committee of FIFA.
Which is what he said he's done?
Yes. Or ask them if they can then allow you to send a complaint to either one of these judicial bodies. However, the power lies, and listen to me very carefully,
this is your parting shot.
The power
like
lies in the members. The people in the AGM who have the power to vote are the ones who have the most power to change things around.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to ask any further questions. My only question to you as you take your seat back there is, on a lighter note, we've seen you as a lawyer, and you clearly are very good at what you do, but are you good at the Xbox?
Let's ask my teacher.
How are we doing so far? Mwalimu, you're a tie, but he's really sweating. How bad was this game?
For a beginner, she's doing really good.
Okay.
So she was using Bayern.
Okay.
And I was using Arsenal to predict the game.
Okay.
Fortunately, Walcott scored.
So what was the final score? Because Bayern and Arsenal are playing.
3-1.
In favor of?
Arsenal.
I wonder if that will be the scoreline tomorrow.
Do you believe that can happen tomorrow?
Even we can score more goals. I believe that.
More goals against Bayern Munich?
Like 5, yeah.
Wow.
3 for Walcott, 2 for Sanchez.
They are dreamers here. 5-1.
Things are valid.
We're going to leave. Sarah, how's the experience on the Xbox?
It's really good. I think I picked up very quickly on the passing and shooting.
Yes.
So I think thank you very much.
How different is this from the courtroom and everything that you handle?
It's actually, this is a lot more tense, to be honest.
Then handling legal matters.
Yeah, it's a lot more tense, especially when you're learning. But I think I'll be taking it up a bit more often.
Okay.
If you invite me back, I'm sure I'll win a few.
We will think about it. We will think about it. I know we are winding up, but I had one last thing, Bwana Director. I don't know if you're going to give me permission. We were celebrating the oldest footballers. And we had that even just as we wind up. I don't know whether that can come up on the screen as we take a look at who are some of the oldest footballers and why do we term them that. And I want to involve Ndong in this because I want Ndong to guess the ages.
Diego Costa.
Diego Costa. Or better yet, let me keep Ndong aside. Sarah, because I want to believe that you may not know them as much as Ndong would. How old is Diego Costa?
Oh my gosh.
Diego da Silva Costa,
yeah.
From what you can see.
Oh, so I've been told a trick.
Okay.
If it's Caucasian, I know this is not politically correct.
Yes.
The age you think plus 5. So I'll go with 45.
45. Diego Costa is actually 27 years old. He's a Brazilian-born Spanish professional footballer and he plays for Chelsea. Let's go next. Next, we're counting down to the 9 oldest footballers. Let's talk about Ronnie here. He's from Brazil. He plays for German club Hertha. You want to give a guess? Iqbal, you can also guess as well. How old do you think Ronnie is?
I'll say 38 to 42 maybe there.
38, 42? Yeah. He's actually 29.
Wow.
He's younger than Dong and I. And he's got a kihara. That's a good one.
Let's be politically correct. It's not called a kihara. I understand it's called a sunroof.
Oh, it's called a sunroof. Or an airport. Or an airport, depending on which part of the world you come from. Let's look at the next gentleman there. This is Charlie Adam. He's Scottish and he plays for Stoke City. Anyone, let's give our DJ here a guess. DJ, give us a rough idea of how old you think this gentleman is. I'm trying to involve everyone here. You are told, you can also tweet us with what you think some of those ages are.
I think he might be
36, 37. You're wrong. He's actually 29.
Wow.
29. And it gets better and better. Cross over to the next gentleman. He is French, from France. Plays for Monaco. His name is Jeremy Toulanon. I hope Ndong can help me with that pronunciation.
Toulanon.
Toulanon.
Well, let's try and see whether our guest this afternoon, the guest from Petit Football, huyu jamaa unamwona hapo na miaka ngapi? 30.
Well, he's tried. He's actually 32, but he's a 32-year-old with so much white hair. So that's a good one there. So this gentleman is 32 years old. I don't know what happens in football. Move on to the next gentleman. Doesn't need much of an introduction. Arjen Robben is Dutch, plays for Bayern Munich. How old is he?
Somebody else here?
Let's see if we can involve some of our visitors today.
I think he's 31.
He's 31. It's because you know that he's 31. But see, that
look like a Bayern Munich fan.
That sunroof is for a 40-year-old. Good. Let's keep going on, and we have 4 more. We're counting down. This is Jay Spearing. He's English. He plays for Bolton Wanderers. Looking at that face, how old do you think he is?
32.
32. He's actually 26.
Wow.
Mumongeza 5 years. The top 3, this is going to be very exciting, is coming up. This gentleman on your screen, Steve McNulty, is English. He plays for Luton Town. How old do you think he is? Someone is saying 54.
How old do you think he is?
Any guesses from...
29.
29.
48.
No. So I have 29, I have 48, I have 19, 54. And 54. He's actually 32 years old. That is a 32-year-old gentleman. Football has a lot of wonders. Now, this gentleman, Joseph Minala, he's Cameroonian and on loan to Latina. Of course, many of you know him from Lazio. How old do you think that man is?
27.
27. Sarah, I want to get your opinion on this. How old would you put him
I'd say 30.
I mean, if you didn't know that he plays football, if you bumped into
him without his kit.
I'd say 30.
30. He's actually 32. That's a 32-year-old man. Believe it or not. And finally, last but not least, Christian Basebok.
Several views, Waiga.
Let me tell you what happened to him. His club, which is AAB Football, this week wished him happy birthday on Twitter.
Yes.
And they said happy years old. And Twitter went crazy because people could not believe how old he is. Quickly, let me go around. How old, Sarah?
22.
22, Iqbal?
45.
45. And one member from the Nairobi club?
35.
35. This gentleman just left teenagehood. He's 20 years.
The beginning of this year was 19 years old.
Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how we wrap up Monday Football for today. Ndong, are we giving away a ball?
Well, of course, before we head on to that stage, of course, it's just with the rules and regulations of the competition is simply because we'll be selecting 5 people at the end of the week. So what will happen is at the end of the show later on, of course, we'll be deciding who won the one of those balls, the 20 balls to give away. So it will be, of course, posting later on who was actually, because we have to select 4 other people. So in total, we have 5 people winning 5 balls in the course of the week. So we'll announce the winners next week on Monday. Remember, next week on Monday, so not today. We'll not be announcing the winner who won one of those balls, because basically what you need to do is just respond to a question. We have posted it for you. We're asking you, how many goals has Tony Adams scored? Remember, he's Mr. Arsenal. How many goals has he scored while he used to play for the Gunners? We'll be asking you another question tomorrow and the day after that. So if you're able to answer all those questions, you'll be able to get, of course, yourself one of these official balls, Wahiga Maura.
That's how it's going to be. So are we giving away a ball now, or you want us to hold on to it?
No. What we'll do is that we'll be selecting it later in the course of the week.
That's right. That's right.
And then on Monday, we'll announce who won all the 5 balls for today, tomorrow, until Friday.
That's very good. It's important just to clarify that for our viewers, and Ndong has gone through the rules and regulations. But of course, this is the only show where we're doing this for you.
And we'll contact you. Whoever wins will contact you, so don't worry.
That's right. So, of course, as our DJ winds us up with some amazing music, thank you so much to all our guests who found time to come here and be with us. We've talked about a wide range of issues, from FKF and what's happening with the football elections to, of course, the Nairobi Amputee Football Club. Thank you so much for coming here to be a part of us. Michael Kinyi, we're not going to tell you where he is for now, but of course, on behalf of the whole team that's here, my director, Robert, whose name you keep hearing, of course, Fernando, who we are here with. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, even as we dance away our Monday blues. DJ, take it away.
Sijui kama yellow ama brown skin na banane nilele wale nimeshindwa. Unafahamu mapenzi kitamu, kitamu sio utani, kitamu sio utani. Tam 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 tam. Nilikuona na kabinti hakunipendeza, mazela kendo really know. Nieleze siri ya mapenzi dada, nieleze siri ya mapenzi namba 9.